back again with another great YouTube video. This time it's Entity SEO. Hi there, I'm Idan of Brand Centric. Alright, let's get into it. We're going to talk entity, lexical search, semantic search, and entity and related entities. Okay, an entity is a thing or concept that is singular, unique, well-defined, and distinguishable. Lexical search looks for literal match of the query. Semantic search is like a search for meaning, okay? Beyond the text. It's like this deep search for meaning in Google. So, what does that really mean? If we search in Google for kidney, we are going to get the literal organ, kidney.org, your kidneys, okay? If I do Command F, that's sort of like lexical. I like to think of that as lexical. Looks for literal match of the query. And you can see the results here highlighted. This is what came up. Kidney, Wikipedia, okay? Now, if we look for the semantic search, or if a user types in a semantic query like kidney-shaped pools, now they're not looking for the organ, but they're looking for, this type of shape. And you can see it with clients. Like I have a client that, they sell pools. So maybe a user is searching for a specific type of shape, of pools, and you need to rank for that keyword, okay? It's definitely different than the organ. You're not selling an organ. And so this is my client, and when we implement SEO, that's a keyword that we're going to target, kidney-shaped organ. It's for the semantic search. All right, so that's semantic search. An entity, a thing or a concept that is singular, unique, well-defined, and distinguishable. Now, this is an interesting topic. That is like this. If we do apple, apple is both an apple, the fruit, and apple, the company. The company is an entity. It's unique. It's its own thing. It's its own identity. It has its own identity, all right? So that's what comes up. It's in the search engines. When I type apple, is the entity, apple, all right? We don't see apple, the fruit, that shows up. And the same with Jaguar, okay? So there's a lot of entities that will show up in Google that are both a noun and they're also an entity. They're their own living thing, okay? So Jaguar USA, if we scroll down, we'll see, by the way, this is a Jaguar just a Ford is a entity, just a entity. But we'll get into that. So let's go on from there. Another one that's cool is a lot of band names. Kiss. So Kiss, is you can kiss someone, or Kiss is an entity. It's a band, all right, that's been around for a while. And Google knows during this session, where I'm in a session right now with Google, and it knows that I'm searching for the entity Kiss, okay? So let's scroll down. Let's see if Google will serve any links related to kiss me, kiss lips. But let's see if kiss lips comes from the band or if it comes from, all right, so that's interesting. It comes from not the entity, but from actual kissing. Okay, so let's keep going on with this topic of entities, lexical, and semantic. So another one that I thought of is Boston. Boston is a city, which is an entity. It's its own thing. It's also a band. And okay, so that's interesting. What this should have done is it should have returned returned the band. That was interesting, actually, because, and I'll tell you why. Because Google is recording this current session, it knew that I searched for Kiss the band, and then my next search was Boston, which it should say, because Idan searched for Kiss previously, the band, he's probably going to search for more bands. But in this case, it didn't return bands. It's just Boston is at the top. And Boston. Okay, so this is all relating to Boston. Let's go to incognito and let's do Boston. That was interesting. How about this? Let's search for more. Nirvana is also a good example. Nirvana is both okay, so here's a local result regarding Nirvana, but it's also the entity. So let's see if during this session, if Google picks up that I want to search for Boston the band. But there are a few more bands that are both entities and they're nouns. So the other one is, what was the other one? Let me see. Poison. All right, Poison official website. Okay, so this is, obviously the band. And then do we see anything regarding Poison? Okay, the international pictogram for poisonous substances. Poison toxin. All right, but at the top we get the entity. All right, now I'm going to try that again. Let's do Boston. Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to keep playing with that. Okay, so we see some news here and some images, and by the way, some related entities. So these are related entities right here for Boston. So what's a related entity? If an entity is a thing or concept that is singular, unique, well-defined, and distinguishable, so is a related entity. But by the way, an entity is not a keyword, so you're not going to find an entity in SEMrush or in Ahrefs, although an entity could be both itself and the entity and a keyword. It gets odd, but it's not a keyword itself. You're not going to find it in an Ahrefs or in a SEMrush. You'll have to find it via, say, Wikipedia. It's in Google's knowledge graph. All right, so related entities to Boston is Massachusetts, the North End. All right, the last one is Chopin, who is a composer and pianist, and is also an entity. So that's our original entity here. Where is it? Original entity. And related entity is Chopin Vladimir Horowitz, which could be a keyword, but just for this sake, it's a related entity, okay? And you can see that Google has picked that up in this knowledge panel, that it's a separate thing from Chopin, okay? So, you can see the songs underneath for this related entity. And there's probably other related entities for Chopin. There were many other pianists who played Chopin's work. All right, thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.